amid the Red Sea, where the darkness is torn apart by the night sky and pitch-black waters. This is the realm of deadly silence, where covert U.S. patrols are the rule. At just 330 feet above the sea surface, a U.S. Navy MH-60 Seahawk anti-submarine helicopter, call sign Ghost 41, glides forward. Its engines growl softly, like a metal beast stalking its prey. From the Yemeni coast, 15 nautical miles away, an intense heat signature erupts. The Houthi forces are not aiming at a warship. They are launching a monster with a dual purpose, an upgraded Qusba anti-ship cruise missile. Its original target was a container ship, but it has been fired wildly off course. The missile warning sensors on the MH-60R suddenly shriek with a piercing, frantic beep beep beep. A blaze of white light tears through the darkness, heading straight toward them. This is no decoy, this is death locked onto its target. Second Lieutenant Alex, Phantom Keller, is tense. He's not flying an F divided by A-18E Super Hornet. He's piloting an anti-submarine helicopter. The MH-60R is a rugged workhorse, carrying sonobuoys and torpedoes, but it was never designed to play cat and mouse with a near-supersonic cruise missile. The Qusba missile isn't flying high, it has switched to sea-skimming mode, just 15 feet above the roaring waves. That means the radar aboard the USS Gravely destroyer is momentarily blind. They can't fire the Aegis defense system. The MH-60R is completely isolated. From the moment the warning alarm sounded to the moment of impact, Phantom and his crew have only 8 seconds to execute their survival maneuvers. 8 seconds to decide whether 3 lives will be swallowed by the Red Sea. But this is not merely a personal military disaster. This missile, recklessly launched by Houthi forces, has mistakenly targeted a strategic U.S. asset. If the MH-60R is shot down, it will mark the first time a non-state proxy crosses this red line. A tragedy that could ignite full-scale war. How will President Donald Trump respond? Will he restrain the fury boiling inside the Pentagon, or retaliate with the destructive might the world fears? What will happen next? Can the MH-60R survive a missile's wrath after being mistakenly targeted? Before we witness the moment a pilot battles a missile, hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated on high-stakes military scenarios where strategy and technology shape humanity's fate. Du, Bankjasdeshimt 8 minutes past. Inside the cramped cockpit of Ghost 41, the warning tones are no longer simple beeps, they've become an electronic scream. That scream locks the focus of Second Lieutenant Alex Phantom Keller, the pilot, and Lieutenant Lena Scout Diaz, the sensor system operator. Missile, 12 o'clock. Drop altitude. Drop altitude. That scream locks the focus of Second Lieutenant Alex Phantom Keller, the pilot, and Lieutenant Lena Scout Diaz, the sensor system operator. The SPA missile appears as a bright dot, but it is a monster of destruction. It's not just a dumb piece of metal. The Houthi forces integrated, upgraded inertial guidance tech that lets it sea skim with wicked precision. It holds an ultra-low altitude, letting sea clutter shield it from long-range radar. This is the invisible scythe tactic, using the environment as camouflage. Keller has no tactical options left. He must rely on pure instinct honed through elite training. Deploy flares. Deploy every 7. Diaz's hands tremble, but her eyes stay sharp. She slams the countermeasure switch flares, 17 thermal and 17 radar decoys. A sparkling storm of chaff and ghost fire erupts from the Seahawk's fuselage. They hope the missile's active radar seeker will be fooled by the false targets. But the missile doesn't budge. Phantom, it's still locked onto us. It ignored the chaff. It's using GPS and INS to maintain its trajectory. Diaz reports, her voice tightening. This means the Qusba missile is being supported by an external source, or flying on pre-programmed coordinates before activating its own radar in the terminal phase. This is a terrifying upgrade from the enemy. Keller performs the ultimate reflex maneuver. He yanks the cyclic hard to the left while stomping the altitude control pedal. The MH-60R tilts at a brutal angle. The main rotor roars violently, straining to tear through the air to escape. Drop altitude, that's the only command he can follow. He forces the Seahawk down, even lower. He's trying to push this metal beast to an altitude he hates most 10 feet above the ocean. At this height, if the aircraft dips too much, the tail rotor will strike the water and they'll be swallowed instantly. 30 feet, 26 feet, 20 feet. Diaz counts down, seawater spraying against the windows. The Qusba missile is now just 4 seconds away. It's no longer a dot. It's a black cylinder with a jerking red flame at its tail, closing in at 460 miles per hour. Hard brake, boost power, move. Keleruwash. He's using the sea surface as a natural radar shield. He hopes that by flying extremely low, the sea clutter will overwhelm the helicopter's radar signature and blind the missile. The sudden screech of tearing metal echoes not from missile impact, but from a small fragment striking the helicopter's tail, ESM housing. Ghost 41 has slipped out of the direct collision path. By mere inches, they've survived the first head-on strike. But the Kuspa missile did not explode. It only veered off temporarily, and its automated system is trying to reacquire the target. It's making a wide arc, preparing for a second attack run. The situation has shifted from crisis to survival. The MH-60R is now being hunted, and the enemy, though firing by mistake, is frighteningly smart and relentless. 3:15 a.m., thousands of miles away in Washington, D.C., the Situation Room glows with cold white light. Even in the dead of night, the tension is suffocating. On the large screen, a graphic of the MH-60R being hunted flashes in red warning colors. President Donald Trump, eyes sharp as steel, leans over the conference table. Beside him are Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio. Summarize, President Trump orders, his voice deep and firm. The Houthis launched a Kuspa missile. They've locked onto our Seahawk. I need a solution. Immediately, Secretary Hegseth steps forward. Mr. President, we've activated Operation Iron Fist. The USS Gravely cannot use Aegis. The missile is too low. It's flying beneath standard radar coverage. We cannot risk firing a Sea Sparrow and accidentally hitting our own asset. He points to the screen. We won't use steel or explosives. We'll use waves. At a classified base aboard the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, an EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft, call sign Chocomat, has been launched. This is the ultimate electronic weapon of the U.S. Air Force. At a classified base aboard the USS Dwight D. Flying at maximum speed, tearing through the sky. Growler's mission is a race against velocity. Conway, you have only 85 minutes to reach the target and 2 minutes to survive. The Kurz missile is entering its terminal homing phase. It will activate its active radar seeker. This is the challenge of the mission. Modern cruise missiles often switch from inertial guidance to their own radar in the final phase. Once that radar is activated, it becomes fully independent and almost immune to long-range jamming. Growler must get close enough to unleash a powerful electromagnetic beam strong enough to melt the missile's radar sensor or at least blind it temporarily. Meanwhile, in the Situation Room, President Trump has made his decision on retaliation. No warnings, no unnecessary escalation, he said as his voice echoed through the room. Find that launcher. I want a precise, proportional strike. No civilian casualties. Only eliminate their strike capability. The USS Connecticut Submarine Task Force, secretly patrolling the Gulf of Aden, used its advanced sonar system to pinpoint the missile's launch position. This information was relayed to the U.S. Army's AH-604 Apache ground attack aircraft stationed at the Djibouti base. The plan was clear. Growler creates an electronic shield, saving the MH-60R. Apache destroys the launcher with laser-guided Hellfire missiles. This is not just a rescue operation, it is a test of the superpower's speed, precision, and restraint. 3:21 a.m. Time's up. The Kuspa missile can no longer be fooled by decoys or sea wave interference. It has entered terminal homing. Its active radar is online, turning it into an unstoppable electronic bloodhound locking onto the MH-60R, flying at just 10 feet above the water. Phantom, it's accelerating. 3 seconds. Lieutenant Dias screams, her voice drowned out by the frantic alarms. But at the very edge of life and death, the cavalry arrives. From behind, Major Conway's EA-18 Growler, Joker 1 charges in. The engines roar with a terrifying scream, tearing the stratosphere apart. Conway doesn't drop bombs, he drops energy. He activates the ALQ-99 tactical jamming pods, a full tactical jamming system. A beam of electromagnetic energy, thousands of times stronger blasts forward, aimed directly at the Kuspa missile's radar seeker. This is electronic warfare at the highest level, almost instantaneous effect. The Kuspa missile's radar seeker overloads. It melts under the intense electromagnetic surge. Its signal disappears. The electronic bloodhound is blinded. The Kuzba missile begins to veer wildly off course. It wobbles, losing altitude like a snake struck on the head. It streaks past the MH-60R by mere inches, then crashes into the sea a few hundred yards away, sending up a tall, blackened column of water. No massive explosion, just the disappearance of a threat. Unbelievable. We made it. The missile failed. Dias shouts, her voice cracking with relief. Lieutenant Keller exhales, but he refuses to relax. Ghost 41 has survived, but the punitive action is only beginning. 30 nautical miles away on the Yemeni coast, a Houthi team is scrambling to dismantle a mobile Quds 3 launcher. They have just received notification that the missile has been neutralized. They know the time to pay, the price has come. A U.S. Army AH-64 Apache attack helicopter, callsign Reaper 2, is flying at low altitude. Stealthily launched from the Djibouti base, guided by perfectly precise satellite data, Captain Marcus Viper Tate, the Apache pilot, aims through his integrated helmet sight display, IHD, the targeting system projected directly into his field of view, locking coordinates, identifying the mobile launcher and 2 moving personnel targets. He speaks through the radio. He presses the trigger. 2 AGM-114R Hellfire missiles drop from the rails. The Hellfire, nicknamed Hellfire for a reason, is semi-active laser-guided. Viper Tate keeps the guiding laser steady like the tip of a needle. The 2 missiles slice through the night at maximum speed, leaving glowing, silent, ghost-like trails. They are not aimed for a massive explosion. They are aimed for destructive precision. Within 8 seconds, the first missile slams into the launcher's auxiliary fuel tank. A controlled blast, just enough to erase the launch system. The second missile locks onto the technical truck, trying to flee the scene. The result: a sharp flash-like explosion with no thick black smoke. A precise and immediate retaliation, flawlessly executed.
Target destroyed.
Operation Iron Fist succeeds with cold precision, proving that aggression will be met with absolute accuracy. 4 a.m. The Red Sea sky begins to glow softly as dawn breaks, and the tension evaporates like mist. On the flight deck of the USS Gravely destroyer, the MH-60 Ghost 41 helicopter lands safely. A few small dents on the tail are the only evidence of the electronic battle and terrifying speeds it endured. Second Lieutenant Alex Phantom Keller and Lieutenant Lena Scout Diaz step out of the cockpit, drenched in sweat but with eyes burning bright. They survived. The final report from the Fleet Command Center back to Washington, D.C. is concise and clear. MH-60, Ghost 41, and its 3-person crew are safe with no injuries. The Houthi Quds 3 cruise missile has been neutralized and fell into the sea. The mobile launcher and communication equipment on the Yemeni coast were destroyed by 2 AGM-114R Hellfire missiles from the AH-64 Apache. No civilian casualties or collateral damage reported. Operation Iron Fist has been completed with technical and tactical perfection. This victory comes from unprecedented multi-layer coordination. Intelligence from the Seaworm submarine, the Growler's electronic warfare response, and the Apache's precise strike. It all proves that in modern warfare, a powerful enough system can neutralize mid-range weapons and save a strategic asset. This incident, thanks to Washington's restraint and precision, did not escalate into full-scale war. However, President Donald Trump delivered an unmistakably clear message to all proxy forces and regional adversaries. He proved that a mistaken attack is still an attack, and the price will be immediate and proportionate. The Red Sea will no longer be a playground for reckless weapons testing. Right after the incident, shipping insurance rates in the Red Sea stabilized again. Global shipping companies breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that although threats remain, America's technological and military shield is ready and effective. It is deterrence delivered with surgical precision. What do you think about the Growler's electronic warfare tactics? Is this the future of naval warfare, where radio waves are stronger than steel? Leave your comment below. And if you found this scenario dramatic and packed with technical detail, don't forget to subscribe so we can continue delivering blockbuster stories where history and strategy are brought to life in the most vivid way possible.